Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Well, the story that I'm about to tell you, I wouldn't consider it to be the best day of my life, certainly. But it's not really the worst day of my life either. But for sure, it's the weirdest and the most terrifying day of my life. When I was younger, I used to go back and forth between my mom's house and my dad's house. And my dad's house is really old. It's over 100 years old, and it has like a lot of history to it. And so, it has a reputation amongst the family for having, strange things happen. Like sometimes, things will go missing for no reason, and then they'll just reappear in other places, or like the blender or the toaster might turn on by themselves, or the lights will flicker. And it's, nobody can really explain why these things happen. And, people have seen other things too. Like one day my stepbrother was in the bathroom home alone, and he heard footsteps outside the door. So my room used to be right by the back door of the house. So every day I'd go outside and, play with the dogs. He had these two big, huge dogs that were part wolf, and they're supposed to be big and tough and not afraid of anything. But one day I went outside, and they were nowhere to be seen. And I looked in their house. They weren't in the house. I looked everywhere for them, and I just started to walk, towards the backyard, and I saw some movement out of the corner of my eye, and I looked up, and I saw a shadow, but it wasn't. It was like a figure, but you could see through it like a shadow. And I can't really explain it, but I looked at it, and I just felt the fear. And I looked at my legs, and I tried to move them, but it was like they were stuck to the ground. I couldn't move. And this thing, it wasn't paying attention to me. It was walking towards the back, slowly just walking. And I tried to open my mouth to scream, but nothing came out. My mouth just opened, and no words came out. And I was just watching this thing walking. And then all of a sudden, I lifted up my leg, and then I realized I could move. So then, as soon as I realized that, I turned around, and I ran, and I slammed the door as hard as I could, and just locked it. But as soon as I slammed the door, all of a sudden, the thing just turned at me. And from that moment, it was like, for a second, it saw me, even though I couldn't, it had no features. I could see it looking straight at me. And in that moment, it was just pure terror for me. So I ran into the house. I went to my dad. My dad, tried to tell me I was imagining things, and I was just so freaked out by what I saw. And from that day on, I could never stay in his house by myself without feeling scared or anxious. And well, yeah, from that day, nobody could explain to me what it was. And I still don't know, and it still gives me shivers to this day to even talk about it. But that's what happened.